I was in a business school classroom in the spring of my senior year at Weber State University in Ogden, Utah, when I heard it. The term vertical integration was defined to me as the degree to which an organization controls its upstream supply and its downstream market. For a group of freeheel skiers, vertical integration meant organizing and cooperating to take more control of our situations in the shadows of the telemark world. And it became our story from the background of telemark.
I'm JT Robinson, and in that classroom, the definition of vertical integration kind of solidified the course of my life. And along with a group of young, talented freeheel skiers, we applied the vertical integration principle, and it ended up launching the freeheel adventure of our lives. I guess it all really starts in Ogden, Utah. I left Wisconsin for college at Weber State so that I could ski the Wasatch winters while I got a degree. I made a bunch of really great ski buddies, and we started to learn how to ski the big mountains in the backcountry together.
My name is Ben Geiger, grew up here in Utah, and I met JT when I was 18 years old. We actually were washing dishes together at a restaurant. That winter, he and I just really started skiing POW and enjoying big mountain skiing, which is not something that I hadn't even done growing up here.
I'm Zach Houston. I moved from Ohio to go to school at Weber State in Ogden, Utah with friends Tony and Rob. When we first met JT, he had already been there for a few years, and he introduced us to the big mountain skiing world and got us stoked.
Time to look around. Snow falls and Utah sound. Accumulations looking nice tonight. Oh, it's mountain time.
Ben switched to telemark first. There were a few guys at Snow Basin who were ripping on telemark gear that got him hooked.
These mentors, one of them was named Jeremy Hacking and the other one was Telly Jeff, kind of showed us that the real progression was taking it to the big mountain, skiing big lines and getting us excited for those things. And at the end of the season, him and Jeff kind of came to us and said, hey, you should switch it up and ski on Telly skis. So I made the conversion that very next year. I sold all my Alpine gear and switched it over to Telly.
Ben convinced me to make the switch, and then Zach switched too.
We were captivated by the turning style options and the flow of it all.
So we took to the art right away and we started putting our own style into it.
Time and look around. Snow falls and mutes the sound. Accumulations looking nice tonight. On this mountain time.
During JT's senior year, he started dabbling in the extreme comps and also working with some ski movies and shooting for magazines and all that. I remember when he first came back from the Tahoe comp, he was super stoked and just raving about how good we were in comparison to the other guys in the competition, and really just kind of motivated us to start skiing harder and pushing ourselves.
After the competition is my senior year, I signed a professional incentive contract with Descent North America. Now, incentive contracts pay based on how much logo exposure you get published in movies and magazines and such. My college ski buddies and I had been filming with each other for our own enjoyment for years, and since I had just realized that those same ski buddies were actually really great skiers, I wondered if our filming was any good. So I gathered all the footage we had of me for Tough Guy Productions, who was making a movie at the time, and as I suspected, the TGP confirmed that our filming was pretty awful. However, a few of the shots were good enough, and they used a couple of our shots along with footage I had gotten with them to fill out a whole segment for me in the movie Open Windows. So then rewind back to the business school classroom where I heard the definition of vertical integration and the light bulb came on. Now if my ski buddies and I could get better at filming each other, and we could all go out and put on a good show at the extreme comps, then maybe we could all get ourselves sponsored and subsequently published in order to make good on those sponsorships all on our own. We could form a collective group that through vertical integration could take more control of the pro ski athlete upstream supply and downstream market, which for ski athletes is the creation of film and photos and the subsequent exposure of that media. There was only one thing missing, a photographer. Luckily, I'd met a guy living in Park City, Utah at an extreme comp that would be the perfect fit for our crew.
I am Jonathan Gurry. I'm a photographer and telemark skier. I first met JT Robinson while skiing in a big mountain telemark extreme competition at Alpine Meadows. It's both living in the Wasatch. He was living up north, and I was down in Park City, and so we started crewing up and skiing together pretty often. One day we were out on a tour in the Grizzly Gulch area of Little Cottonwood Canyon in Utah, and he started to share an idea of working as a collective group of skiers to get content.
While we were on the skin track, I brought up my idea. If we had a crew of athletes that could make their own media, then we could make relationships to get that media out with the existing outlets. Creating content in the backcountry is difficult and dangerous, and as such, Ski movie companies don't shoot with large crews of skiers, and in the cash-strapped world of telemark, the movie companies at the time did not have a bunch of film crews. So my buddies and I could not always get out with a movie crew every day in order to build good segments, which we needed to do to please sponsorships. And movie companies like TGP were pleased to take good footage from us to fill out good segments.
As he laid out, the various ways that we could work together as athletes, creating content, networking, coming up with different outlets, I was instantly sold on the idea. It was just a matter of how we were going to get it started and get it going and work together. Luckily, it's pretty simple. It's just all about really going skiing and breaking the cameras out and all shooting a little bit, all skiing a little bit, and everyone having a good time. And I said, hey, well, what should we call this thing? And he said, how about we call it vertical integration? And immediately my thoughts went to when I first learned about Andrew Carnegie. Thought, man, that's great. What a great idea to call it something so intelligent, and it's just a bunch of ski bums all getting together, working hard and getting vertically integrated.
I was stoked to have John on board for a number of reasons. He's a great freeheel skier, he's a great photographer, and he's an experienced and knowledgeable backcountry traveler that I knew we could trust in the kind of avalanche terrain that we were going to be getting into.
Shooting in the backcountry can be a pretty dangerous business. There's just all these factors that you have to already deal with the terrain itself, avalanche conditions, and then you add in things like whether the light's good, the conditions are good, whether the skiing's gonna look good, all these factors. And then you add in whether or not there's gonna be other people there and their pets and all these other uncontrollable factors and things that come into play when you're out there.
During college, my buddies and I did a lot of learning the hard way. I was taking all the formal avalanche training, and all the while we were getting out in the backcountry and kind of learning as we went. We were learning on the snow, making decisions and making mistakes. We danced with the avalanche dragon. We were definitely trying our best to avoid avalanches, and we were getting better and better at it every day. However, when you're out in this kind of terrain this often, trying to make ski movies and taking photos and doing all that stuff, you're gonna make mistakes. Thankfully, we were surviving our mistakes. We weren't necessarily ready when we learned the full weight of the risks that we were taking out there.
Ryan Smedley was a legend in Ogden. Him and his group of BHCers, they called themselves, Basin Hardcore snowboarders, were the first ones to pioneer many lines in and around Snow Basin in the early 90s.
As a crew, we looked up to them because they were always going for it no matter what. That day he went down in the avalanche was a big shocker for everyone.
We had a lot of good times together. I remember just crushing Hell's Canyon, just getting face shot after face shot going through Hell's Canyon and giving each other big high fives at the bottom and just having some of the best times ever with Smedley. So JT actually called me the night that he was killed because the rumor had been that the reason helicopters were flying over the mountain is that they were looking for somebody. And JT goes, man, I got some bad news. Turns out the person they're looking for is Smedley. And that was heavy. I didn't know what to do. So my wife, she said, hey, you oughta run out and see your friends. So I called up JT. I said, hey, let's go visit some of the BHC. And he said, hey, I hear they're kind of gathering up at the trailhead where the search is. So we went up there. There were probably 200 people up there, it seemed like. Big old trash can with a fire going, everyone telling stories about Smed, lots of crying, and it was tough on the ski community. I mean, it wasn't just BHC snowboarders there. There were ski patrollers and, just members of the community just coming out in support.
night we found out that Smedley was killed in the slide, JT came to me, and we decided from that point forward we needed to really dial in our skills as a crew and really look out for each other in the backcountry. And even with the people we were bringing out, we needed to be able to fully trust them with our lives.
We all really learned the value of our group after Smedley died. We all knew it, but it hit us harder when it came to our local backyard. We really only had each other to count on out there. The group really started to solidify around this, and we took it to the next level in our backyards in the Utah Wasatch.
Is it hard to be ambitious? No, it's just hard to be in time. Taking life like it's delicious, standing up and fine. I understood when you said it this time. Wake up, I overlooked all the meaning in life to take up.
We got dedicated, we got better, we learned more. And as we began to grow into our own, we started to flourish. And the whole Wasatch Range opened up for us.
I've been down in the dumps, broken and battered. I need some kind of pick-me-up, but I never thought that'd be you. Hell, I probably shouldn't take another shot. The whiskey's got me talking, and my stupid mouth might say some things that I know I might regret. But why would I, now that you're here? The night was wild, and we're both young, and we're both free. Now my heart's on fire, I can feel it burn, spreading through my veins. Living in the now, we're living in the now. It really didn't take you long to put the hook, line, sinker on, and I can't remember a time when feeling wrong it felt so right. We stayed up till night turned into day, stood outside in the pouring rain, said you'd smoke one cigarette, but then you had to be on your way. So go drag it in, but take your time. The night was wild, and we're both young, and we're both free. Now my heart's on fire, I can feel it burn, spreading through my veins. Living in the now, we're living in the now, living in the now. The night was wild, and we're both young, and we're both free. Now my heart's on fire, I can feel it burn, spreading through my veins. The night was wild, and we're both young, and we're both free. Now my heart's on fire, I can feel it burn, spreading through my veins. We're living in the now. We're living in the now. We're living in the now. other choice. And it's far from over, can't you hear it in my voice? And now my hands are tied, and I feel like I was robbed. Even though it's for the best, I feel like I was robbed. I feel like I was robbed. I feel like I was robbed. I feel like I was robbed.
And, Wasatch is really some of the best skiing in the world, and so we really were able to learn a lot together and whatnot. But we always wanted to kind of venture out. You know, one of the main goals and one of the things that we even started this for was to go see the world on skis. I know that was always really my goal. We started to talk about traveling and everything like that, and we did a little trip on the way to the SIA show in Las Vegas. We took a stop down the Cedar Breaks area right by Bryan Head and photographed and shot some Red Rock country area.
Don't tell me how this all ends.
Hold on to the surprise.
You got a lot of explaining to do.
But I ain't got no time for your lies. Been feeling cheated, we built so much so long.
But now it's crumbling down. So medicated we thought we never stop.
But you lost sight of the ground.
Ben stayed back in Ogden and we brought out local pro Dave Stratton from Black Diamond. We headed out to Cedar City's Red Rock area and got up in some terrain that was really fun and just beautiful landscape along the red rocks, and when the sun hit that, it would just blow up, red glow all around you.
I know it's too late to change direction.
You can't blame me for trying. Taking on water, you left me for dead.
It's a miracle we got out alive. If we repeat this, there's something you should know.
Gotta say goodbye. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't.
But you already had your warning signs. But I hope under your weakness that common sense isn't gone, gone, gone. And I know you'll understand me. Till then we'll carry on, on. Carry on. Carry on, we'll carry on, we'll carry on some way, somehow. We'll carry on, we'll carry on, we'll carry on some way, somehow. We'll carry on, we'll carry on, we'll carry on some way, somehow. We'll carry on, we'll carry on, we'll carry on.
After the Cedar City and Vegas trip went smoothly, we decided to try our hands at putting together a bit more of an ambitious trip to John's hometown in Seattle, Washington to check out Mount Baker. Mount Baker was our first real project with long distance travel and all the logistics that go along with that, like flights and luggage and cars and hotels and places to stay.
And you can laugh till your eyes roll back, but now your fate is sealed. I've waited night after night until the time is right. Your judgment day is here. There's no use putting up a fight.
The resort had been getting hammered with snow, and so we wanted to explore it and take our chances on some big storms.
Is the time? So your days they ain't you whole, got you trapped, nowhere to go, and you feel like the light ain't getting no closer. You just gotta change your view, a different mind, a different view. Now put on that mask and repeat after me. La da 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 down, down, la da 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 down, down, la da 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 down, down, da 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 da. It's just like the real thing. If you can keep pretending, then who's to say you're anything but strong? It's all in the discipline. Keep it quiet and hidden, and they'd never notice a single thing is wrong. Oh, it's a lie you live, but at least it pays the bills. You know a lot of lies just do it for the thrills. What separates you is you still have yet to crack. So just do your job and never look back. So you found a way to deal. Bite the bullet, take the pill. Just a shame you'll never be the same again. But you're good at what you do, professional through and through. You'll make a name for yourself as long as you can bend. Oh, it's a lie you live, but at least it pays the bills. You know a lot of lies just do it for the thrills. What separates you is you still have yet to crack. So just do your job and never look back.
Well, JT and I, we were able to do this trip to Galtour, Austria, and we did a skier cross. We ended up partying that night at this pyramid bar.
While we were there, we'd met an Austrian named Lotte Hofer, who was the owner of Wide Dream Productions. We partied with Lotte all night and vowed to keep in touch with each other over email over the summer, as always. And after the Mount Baker trip had gone really smooth, we decided as a group to try to put together a European trip. And a trip back to Austria to visit the Wide Dream boys seemed like the perfect fit. I had to invite Dylan Crossman to go to Austria with us. It only seemed right since I was with him when I had met Lotte the winter before. So I made up a vertical integration athlete cost sheet for Dylan. And it was basically a cost and exposure sheet for him to use with his sponsors to try and raise the cash he would need to take the trip.
JT gave me this cost analysis sheet on our trip, I took it to Rosenthal. They loved it. They cut me the check, and I was in on the trip.
JT and I were out on a photo shoot with photographer Steve Lloyd down in the Cottonwoods and brought up some plans to go to Austria. Steve immediately jumped on it and volunteered his services and said he was in, so we got it booked and headed out.
We put together a nice 5-man crew, laid out the logistics, set everything up with the Y Dream boys, and then just got on a plane and went for it. At some point, you just gotta throw it to the wind and roll with it, you know?
When I'm left all alone without the one thing that I know, I'd be lying if I said I don't need the road. And now missing Wichita in Arkansas, in the way they spoke to me. I feel alive in New York City, and I feel alive out in the country. I miss the Golden Gate out on the bay, those winter storms, summer rain. It's never more than I have bargained for, so I'll say, give me some more. 'Cause some might say that I'm crazy. Some might say, is it worth this? But when I'm left all alone without my home.
Over dinner that night, I contacted Lota, and we scheduled to meet up at our place in the morning. So obviously, I didn't know where I was going. We obliged and loaded up.
We drove over the pass from Krippenstein to a mountain called Losa Mountain. There was high winds at Krippenstein, so we had to kind of go over there, which was their hometown and their home mountain. And they immediately showed us to this huge couloir that Dylan, just eyes went big and he just got like a hungry dog. He looked at the thing and just started salivating. He wanted it big time.
I didn't want to go do it by myself, and I really needed somebody to spot me and someone to be in the bottom of that couloir together with.
I had to do it with him. I knew Dylan was gonna crush it, and all I had to do was go through it with him. At the top of the couloir, we literally came up on this billy goat type looking animal called the gom that I swear he looked right at me, and he's like looking at us like, what the hell are you guys doing up here?
JT and I made it to the top of the couloir, and we couldn't see what it looked like from the top, but it had a little bit of a wide opening to it, and it was kind of inviting, but it looked steep. I kind of asked JT if I could have it first.
I just laughed. I go, I thought that was the whole plan, man.
The sun broke on the couloir, and it was time.
So I slowly made it out and was happy to help my buddy Dylan log the first descent that now I guess will forever be named the Crossman Couloir. Craziest thing was this was just day one of the trip.
After Losa, we went back to Obertron and Krippenstein with high anticipation of the storm rolling in. Over those next few days, we poked around in the trees and found some goods.
Snow started piling up over a couple days, and we decided to take one of the rainy days and go see one of the local villages. So we hopped on a little ferry and went over to this 4,000-year-old town called Hallstatt, and walked around the town and took all kinds of pictures. Got to see some of the scenery. It's wedged in between two giant mountains on Lake Obertron, and got to really enjoy the scenery, the culture, the food. Stopped into a couple pubs and had a few good beers.
So the storm delivered the goods, and the next day, sure enough, the sun came out. We rallied up the Wide Dream crew and headed out to Krippenstein to this area called the Schrem.
We got out on top of the Schrem first thing in the morning with bluebird skies and 2 feet of brand new snow.
We had eyed out some lines, and we decided we were going to take one of the safer lines. It's kind of like a spine. Had some, places where you could let slough roll off to either side. Ended up being, a fun, playful line. Ended up being a real smooth, easy, fast line, and I let JT know that it was good to go.
He radioed back up with reports of just heavy sloughing and good, stable conditions. So I dropped into my line. As I came out of the double fast towards Dylan, I rolled up to him and I knew we were good to go. And I looked at him and I was just like, we can do whatever we want.
here, more times than I can count, on my left and on my right, two hands. And I think it's safe to say that it's become a part of me. What more can you expect from good old-fashioned hospitality? And my boys and I've spent nights laying underneath these stars, passing back and forth a bottle, saying one day they'll be ours. Well, I've seen the rivers flow, I've seen the seasons change around me. Now my heart's a sinking stone for what they call that big sky country. That big sky country. And I've been making peace with myself and those around me, heading east and west on I-90. And I think that when I'm old, I might plant my roots here when I fold. What better place to call your very own but big sky country. That big sky country.
We got back to Utah from the Austria trip. The next couple of weeks just basically fell apart. John and I laughed that we had used up all of our good karma over there in Europe and now we had to pay the penance. But to my surprise though, soon after it all kind of turned around, I got an email from Lotte Hofer saying he wanted to come now to the US and ride our backyard.
The Y Dream crew brought the snow with them.
And brought them up to Alta, and it'd been dumping. We had a classic Alta powder day.
Waiting for a chance, reeling back home, walking at a pace that I can keep on. Somewhere in the distance, time stands still. Beautiful inception of your mind and your will. Hold on, take it on in. Signs wave in directions. Waiting for the wind to blow me back light's gone, but you can still see. Watching your direction, or watching you watch me. Looking through the window, it seems clear, but you have gotta let go if you can't get there. Hold on, take it on in. Signs way of in directions. Four winds blowing me home. Will I go?
The sun broke out and Dylan guided us out to one of the Alta Classics, Wolverine Cirque. I'd been there a bunch of times, but the Euro boys had heard of it by this time, and we had to go give them a ripping tour of it.
Somewhere in the distance, time stands still. How a beautiful inception of your mind and your will. Come along, take it on in. Signs way of in directions. Oh. Waiting for the wind to blow me back home. Stopping at the crosses, watching time go. Sitting on a rooftop where I can see your house. If I could only get south, wonder where my mind's. Hold on, take it on in. Signs way of in directions. Four winds blowing me home. Where I go, where I go. Holding on, the light's gone, but you can still see. Watching the direction, now watching you watch me. Looking through the window, it seems so clear, but you have gotta let go if you can't get there.
I was so glad we were able to return the favor to the Y Dream guys. We got them some classic Utah powder and some big lines, and they helped us out with a trip of a lifetime in their hometown, and so now we were able to do the same for them and ours. And that was a fitting climax to a winter that fell off again as soon as they left. I took off to Alaska solo on a trip with Tough Guy Productions and Sweetgrass Productions that Zach and John were supposed to join me on, that they ended up bailing on last minute, and the thing almost fell apart, and it ended up costing me more money, but I still made it up to Alaska and made the trip go, and it ended up being a really great trip. And when I got back, things got even a little tougher for vertical integration, because Zach told us he was chasing the surf bug down to San Diego, and John and his wife were going to move up to Alaska with their new baby. And so the whole dynamic of the group really started to change. and our crew was really just starting to thrive at that point, so we really didn't know what was going to become of the whole situation.
Some days I feel broken, and I know that I could probably use some fixing. Some days I feel broken, so go on and take the better parts of me. Yeah, go on and take the better parts of me.
So we expanded our network. We had plenty of ripping friends all over the place, and John and I figured out how to expand the model to support anyone who wanted to work with us. We started shooting with our friend Candy Froer in Utah, and then John recruited an Alaskan ripper named Dave McGoffin that we had met on the competition circuits.
My name's Candy Froer. I grew up in Ogden skiing at this gorgeous mountain snow basin from the time I was little. So I had been skiing with these guys for a couple years, and they had started filming a lot, and I was just too scared to get in front of the camera until one day JT was like, "Hey, buck up, it's time. Drop that line, I'm filming you." So I was like, ooh, pretty scared. But that just kind of opened the door. Then I started filming a bit with Telemark Skier magazine and started doing some photography with John and photographers like Ree Wickstrom and Steve Lloyd.
Taking every little thing that I say or do the wrong way, and sometimes I know that you're right and you've been taking shots below my belt, and sometimes it's hard to tell if you've changed the way that you felt, but I hope we're okay. Yeah, I hope we're okay. Some days I feel broken, and I know that I could probably use some fixing. Some days I feel broken, so go on and take the better parts of me. Yeah, go on and take the better parts of me. We've been driving ourselves into the ground. Let's throw the towel, call it a day. We've only got one thing to say, is that we're okay.
And our reach and our networks actually
Well, I
strengthened.
hope we're okay.
I had taken a job skiing for Telemark Skier magazine. Josh Madsen had taken over as the editor, and they put together this unique team of content creators that was a lot like what we were doing at Vertical Integration.
Kind of the first way to do that was find somebody that was already doing that, and JT had put this vertical integration project together and had already been kind of working in this model.
Over the next few years, the VI crew was working exclusively with Telemark Skier magazine. Only now we were getting to shoot with all kinds of new great Telemark skiers. We were getting after it on all kinds of different projects for the magazine in what was now two backyard big mountain meccas of Utah and Alaska.
I'm filthy, disgusting, and I'm dirty. I've been back on this road for 2 weeks now. I think I'll write me a song made from the road. I'm sitting, I'm thinking, and I'm stirring myself up for days at a time now. I think I'll have me a drink. There's some people I'd like to meet. Then I'm packing up, I'm gonna hit the next state line. I don't give a damn where it is I'm waking up. I only get one shot, hell that's just fine. Gonna make you count tonight. I don't give a damn. I'm torn up, I'm bruised, and I'm beat down. I've been back on this road for 2 months now. I think I'll write me a song made from the heart. North, south, east, and my wild west. give a damn where it is I'm waking up. I only get one shot, hell that's just fine, gonna make it count tonight. I don't give a damn. Give a damn where it is I'm waking up. I only get one shot, hell that's just fine, gonna make it count tonight. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. It was the day before Thanksgiving. Me and my boys, we were almost home. Yeah, we were riding dirty, riding through the desert. I-17 north to Flagstaff bound. Yeah, we were probably just about an hour out, maybe 75 miles tops. Then I saw the blue and red lights come up quickly. Better buckle up, boys, we might be getting popped. They tried to get us on possession. They tried to take our rights away. They thought they hit the goddamn jackpot, but I ain't going out like that, and we ain't getting caught. And I had that wheel clenched tight, and I leaned over to my right. I had to get this plane kicked right into gear. The boys said, what the hell are we gonna do? I said, let's pull the switcheroo, cause if not, my ass will be going straight to jail. So they pulled us out and cuffed us all and put us on display for all the holiday travelers passing on the highway. They searched the van straight high and low, said, boys, you best give up the dope, and if you don't, we might do this the hard way. They tried to get us on possession. They tried to take our rights away. They thought they hit the goddamn jackpot, but I ain't going out like that, and we ain't getting caught. They tried to get us on possession. They tried to take our rights away, and they thought they hit the goddamn jackpot, but I ain't going out like that. They tried to get us on possession. They tried to take our rights away, and they thought they hit the goddamn jackpot, but I ain't going out like that. We ain't getting caught. We ain't getting caught. No, we ain't getting caught. Well, we ain't getting caught.
looking at the ground and then looking back. How did it get to be so that these souls hold a bruised and weary past? Staring into a dirty mirror, these eyes are filled with more than fear. I'll take all of it in, but I'll shed no tears. There's nothing left for me here. Is this the end, or is this just another bend in the beaten path I follow? I'm begging you, please just tell me, my friend, is this a dream, or is this just hollow patchwork me? Somehow I'll just keep on walking, do my best to shrug off all of these things. Paint me a smile and I'll do some laughing. We'll look at the sky and sing. Is this the end, or is this just another bend in the beaten path I follow? I'm begging you, please just tell me, my friend, is this a dream, or is this just hollow patchwork me? Just tell me to stay. 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 Just stay on this pathway.
When you were a hand, I fell behind hands, caught up inside the better times that you created from the past that's faded.
These days, the original members of the vertical integration group have all gotten a little bit older and domesticated. Zach is still in San Diego, California, surfing like it's his job and contributing to the vertical integration website with stories from surfing around the globe, contributing music, and giving fitness tips from the front lines of his work as a physical therapist with a beach view. I'm raising a family in Utah in the Wasatch Range, and I still work for Telemark Skier magazine. I still chase projects all around the world with the vertical integration group, but the aging and a beaten body and the responsibilities of family life, and all of these things have slowly served to lower my risk-taking. I'll never huck for 100 feet again, but I still chase powder in the backcountry, near and far.
Roughly about 14 years after this whole journey started, and JT and I are still skiers on a regular basis every season. I don't think we'll ever stop.
Ben Geiger is a business and family man who still travels the Wasatch backcountry, scouring for untouched lines.
John and Dave are still up in the Great Alaskan Wilderness. John's a family man and still a full-time photographer, and Dave is a pilot, and he owns the Sultry Lake Lodge fly fishing operation on Kodiak Island. They both continue to ski and write and shoot in the Alaskan mountain ranges for Telemark Skier magazine, as well as contributing to the Vertical Integration website. Vertical integration is a model that worked for all of us in trying to do what we wanted to. It worked for a lot of different reasons. Everyone puts in and gets out as much as they wanted to. And the teamwork and networking make each of those efforts more efficient and effective. Others have also crewed up to create content these days as well. Groups like Beans and Rice Freeride continue to push telemark skiing and the crew model to new heights.
The idea of Telemark Skier magazine moving forward is really to support the entire telemark community around the world. One of the ways we wanted to do that is reach out to some of these different crews, like the Worst Crew in Switzerland, or our friends in Beans and Rice Freeride, and find out more about their stories. And Telemark Skier magazine in its different forms offers them an amazing platform to share their projects with a large group of people.
With time comes evolution and change. We're doing a lot of different kinds of projects for our website, among other publications, including Telemark Skier magazine. As a matter of fact, we took on one such mission this last winter to create an entire issue for Telemark Skier magazine to release this fall. It chronicles the amazing culture, spirit, and the super deep powder of Niseko, Japan.
So strong by and by. Take what you can from your hand that you see. Oh shit, show that time it goes sensation. It don't matter where. All night long you keep me up and then into a song. I said all night long. Keeping up our way into a song. Surely all it comes with patience, and it seems to me the early light make it so far away when it's all in time. And that all night long. Turn me your fire into a song. My life, you're so good to me. And I'm taking my time, we'll just let it be. I'll just take mine, I'll just take mine.
Vertical Integration Group has operated in the background of the freeheel world, quietly pumping out fantastic segments in over 7 different telemark skiing movies around the world, and filling hundreds of pages of magazines and websites for the last decade. We all decided to keep ourselves relatively quiet and just let the skiing do the talking for all those years. Besides, all we ever really wanted to do was travel the world to amazing places and ride the best we could every chance we got.
All
Are you ready for ski season?